So yeah, let's do just straight up an introduction. Just we are the Broken Uglies.
And this is our outline right here.
Yep,
All right. So we're recording.
yep.
What's good, y'all? We are the Broken Uglies. Dave Dub,
As one.
straight out of San Jose, California,
Zay.
United States of America, planet Earth,
San Hopeless.
galaxy, San Hopeless. Um, Out here.
Catapulted out of the black hole, walking on treadmills.
moonwalking, catapulted out of that motherfucker, aborted, but still birthed at the same time, basically,
Orderly.
in layman's terms.
All right. And when did you guys first meet and decide to do this project?
The Broken Uglies is we're basically a collaborative effort that brings two entities together that normally shouldn't be brought together because the centrifugal force of it all is so heavy that it could actually touch the external physical realm. And whenever you have something that powerful, it should probably not be touched. But we touched it anyway because everything's touchable within our realm.
Thick skin fingertips.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got Hayes One from Sideways Burnouts, Dave Dub from Subcontents, Underbombers. We rep Isolated Wax, which is our label, our brand, and it came together just because I think the hip hop universe needs something different, something that differentiates itself from normality, and we like to dwell in the realms of abnormality to a certain extent.
The oddest oddity sporadically splattered out of the faces and esophaguses in the conveyor belt fashion, alphabetical, gets scattered and collateral damage. But we're out here and we're managing to just stay afloat, and overall, it's just an overflow of comatose poetry in motion. You know what I mean? Dave Dub, and I first met him out in San Jose at the Silicon Valley Debug. It was just some, just kicking with Mac Abusive. He lived up top. You know what I mean? We just rolled up, leather jacket. You know what I mean? I thought he was like a punk rocker and shit. I was like, oh man, who's this cat? And he comes up just styling on motherfuckers. Just took over, ate the cipher up. I was like, You know what I mean? Took that down to the basement of the spot. You know what I mean? It's all wild style graph everywhere. You know what I mean? It was just real organic. It was like, you know what I mean? Built off that. You know what I mean? Naturally comrades. You know what I mean? It just happens.
Straight up.
What do you got to say on that, Dave?
Well, just like Hayes said, to piggyback what he said, it was, at Debug, much love and respect to Raj, which is a nonprofit organization based out of San Hopeless. We're bringing the hope back to San Hopeless, by the way. And so is Debug. That's what we have in common. It's really ironic that that's where we collided at.
Irony.
Some people might consider us as being subversive, and I'd say you're motherfucking right. You feel me? But anyways, so there we were, and a collective of MCs, and I was aware of Hayes' presence through the Sideways Burnouts. What's up to Jerome Davis and Sloth and the rest of the motherfuckers from that crew, and me being aware of them as being kind of like the youngsters of the scene, I knew that they were kicking up dust. You feel me? Like on some wild, to me it was like some wild, like styled out LA, California style, Beastie Boys, fucking funkadelic, on acid type shit. You know what I mean? And I love that about what they were doing and what they portrayed. And then with that being said, Hayes, to me, and like I said, no disrespect to any of the other crew members because everybody had their fucking attributes, but he just had this lyrical dexterity that expanded beyond the perimeters of what I think his comrades had. So I always had an eye out for his potential. And so when it came time, like with Isolated, me and Mega Abusive really establishing the label, we wanted Hayes to get down with the label. And so when we met, there was a cipher, niggas was freestyling, we was sabbing out, everybody's feeling each other's energy out and whatnot. And that's where, it first manifested, that's where I guess a seed was planted and slowly germinated. And then through time, through actually a couple of years, of everybody growing and maturing as artists, us establishing the label, motherfuckers decided to salve out collectively as it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. We were broke and, you know what I'm saying, our souls were ugly, and we decided to fucking package that up and fucking spread that gospel throughout the motherfucking universe, you know what I mean? So that's what we did, and that's what we're doing, you know what I'm saying? And it all sparked down there at Debug. And it's funny because we're debugging your minds of all your primitive bullshit, and we're taking you to the motherfucking fantastic planet, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, welcome to the future.
So what do you have to say about how you guys decided to do this, the Broken Uglies Project, Hayes?
Man, we were like, I mean, to go off what Dave was saying, you know, he just hit me up one day, and he's like, yo, man, I need to come through, let me just kick it, unwind, you know, so he came through. I woke up that previous morning, you know, I was going through it, woke up to an empty apartment, you know what I mean, on the floor, you know what I mean, passed out. Girl walked out on me, you know what I'm saying? The homie comes through, just, you know, I woke up to a living room with nothing but my computer, my microphone. I mean, I just turned it on, just freestyled away, and as he came in, you know what I mean? And then we're just like, you know what, man, like, we already got this track. I'm like, yeah, no, like, what's good with it, man? Screw it, let's just do a whole project. And then, like, we didn't know the name at the time, you know what I mean? But then it just made sense because we were just both going through the motions of life, you know what I mean?
I was convinced the feds had my brains tapped, and I still think they do, but it was really heavy at that point in time. And, you know, Hayes talked me out of it, and you know what I'm saying? And he had, like you said, his shit was falling down as well.
You know, looking at pin time, and just like, it was just, you know, anyway, so we just got right in, and we just like let it all unravel off the top of the brain. And, you know, when it came down the name, like, what are we gonna call this, dude? Like, what started off a bunch of crazy names like New World Coroners.
Yeah, New World Coroners.
Then we're like, nah, you know what I mean? Because we don't want to be pigeonholed and put in a box on anything. I mean, we just want to be, so let's just portray what our broken souls are. Okay, broken. Oh, damn, that shit's ugly as fuck. Okay. Broken Uglies.
Broken Uglies. You know, summed it up.
So,
uneven numerics.
So what's the goal of this project? Like what either like what is the goal, or where do you see this fitting into the scope of or just as far as just hip hop and San Jose hip hop or Bay Area or?
I see this as becoming, if I may elaborate, this is some shit that it's a journey that not many, you know, we don't play it safe when it comes to the microphone module. We roll the dice when it comes to the mic. So that being said, you know, that kind of comes along with the lifestyle. You know, if you're talking about, you know, you got your thing on you and you laying niggas down all day and you ain't about that life, you know, that's studio gangsterism. You feel me? If we're rhyming about traveling in internal space to master external space, and we're really not about that life, then we're pretty much studio rhymers, you know what I mean? But see, we rhyme travel, you know what I mean? So like, it's a whole different trip, you know, so we stay true to that. But along with that comes the lifestyle choices, you feel me? So we find ourselves sometimes in institutions, we find ourselves sometimes destitute, sometimes for the sake of the art. And not saying that, you know, you have to suffer behind your art, but the Broken Ugly sometimes we find ourselves in precarious situations. Now, where does that lie within the boundaries of what South Bay hip hop, universal fucking hip hop, music in general? I think that it's that dark corridor that not many are willing to travel down, and those who have normally don't make it through the other side unscathed. So far, so good for us. And I think that what we're trying to do is expand the perimeters of what could and should be done with the genre, because hip hop is the embodiment of everything. Sample-based music, when they came through with sample-based music, which is what hip hop is, that's why it'll never die. It's because we've taken from everything. Some could call it thievery, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? That's the basis of America anyway, right? We're all fucking a bunch of thieves, right? So hip hop embodies that American aesthetic of taking, right? And we take from everything. And so with the Broken Uglies and what we're trying to do is take from everything when it comes to what we're creating, and what we procreate is something that's different, something that's fucking, that can be universal. I don't think that hip hop could just like box it in as just being that. You know what I mean? Not San Jose, not the Bay, not fucking New York, not the South, not fucking Europe, not Africa, not fucking Southern America. Like, we're trying to reach Galaxy X, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I mean? What we encompass and what we project is just pure audio visual based on just every human being, subhuman being, subversal, outer space, outer limit, strutters. You know what I mean? Like, the point is, like, we want people. It's not even that we want. We just, I mean, just naturally, we rhyme travel, like Dave was saying. It's like, it's just naturally relatable and it's gravitated to what we completely embody within our music and our poetry, you know, and with the styles and even the different genres. That's the beauty of hip hop in itself, because, you know, it can branch out just in each and every perimeter direction anywhere. You know what I mean? There's no limit, and that's what we're doing with this Broken Uglies.
Limitless. Like, we're touching everything. You know what I'm saying? If it was a human being, it'd be touching we'd snatch that motherfucker up and you'd be touching everything in this room. That's what we're doing. That's what the album. You feel me? It's like an adversary, and we grab his ass, nigga. You touching every motherfucking thing in here.
Taste that.
You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. That's the Broken Ugly
And
experience.
someone on Planet X can just, like, they'll hear that, you know what I mean, traveling subsonically through the wavelengths of space, and
Yeah.
they'd be like, oh man, what's that?
You know what I mean?
You know, and then someone over there in, like, you know, France, you know what I mean, Germany, Spain, people drilling skulls in the background.
That's that frequency right there, you know?
What is the Broken Uglies? What is the Broken Uglies?
It's a rap group that specializes in cutting edge rhyme engineering, rhyme travel, and a lot of different styles. You know what I mean?
A lot of different styles, a collective of just dysfunctional, dystopian tongues that just, like, can speak in all kinds of backwards motion, you know, forward projected attributes of barbiturate, parasitical, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Broken Uglies is what it is, man. The point is, there's no point.
Exactly. And, you know, the meaning is meaningless.
When-
We're Pharisee killers. Basically, we just come through. We do what we do. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, there's a lot of broken people out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of ugliness, you know. So what we decided to do was encapsulate it within a group, you know, and a collective consciousness, if you will, between two universes, because everybody embodies a universal element. So, you know, every human being, in my opinion, is a walking universe in itself. So you bring Hayes One to the table and Dave Dub to the table, and we're basically, it's kind of like taking on the world's broken souls and the ugliness that exists, and harnessing it, and then regurgitating it in audio form, you know, packaging it up, marketing it, and basically going through crucifixion for y'all.
The Broken Uglies is the voice for the broken home, holes in their clothes, snot-nosed brats out there that just can, you know, just have something to grasp in some sort of way and have a relation, you know. So, yeah, exactly. Broken home, snot-nosed brat
Brats.
music.
Yeah, straight up, you know what I'm saying? For all of those who are, you know what I'm saying, for the hopeless, you know what I mean? We don't make music, the Broken Uglies, we don't make music for, you know, the well-to-do. We don't make music for the, you know, I mean, we could rock any kind of style we want because we're just that advanced when it comes to rhyming. But, like, what we decide to do is to create for those who, for the voiceless. You know what I mean? We rhyme for the voiceless and for those who are going through it, for those who have issues in life, you know what I mean? Issues to be dealt with. We like to relate to the thinkers, you know what I mean? Advanced thinkers, you know what I mean? Hip-hop needs more thought put into it, you feel me? So when we come through like that, you know what I'm saying, we represent the third eye. And, you know, let's get into the pineal gland. You know, all of this.
And the people with the third eye blind.
Exactly,
Hopefully
for
shed
both.
that
You
light
know,
on them, you know what I mean?
straight up.
So they can, you know, and that's not even on that whole cliche shit. It's just simply on some, like, that's consciousness in itself, you know. There's conscious rap, there's punk rock rap, there's all this just straight golden era rap, you know. Like what this is, there's no classification, because You know, it just is what it is. Constantly, constant. It's like Animorphs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shift shaping in the most positive manner. You know what I mean?
Straight up and down, formless,
Why do you do it? Why do you guys do this? What's the drive?
compulsion, obsession,
Passion.
lunacy. Those are just a few words that come to mind that could describe why we would do what we do and roll the dice the way we roll the dice when it comes to what we create. Because it's not anything that's going to make us rich, and we're fully aware of that going in. You know what I'm saying? So, like, why would you invest so much time, and effort into something that you know, in this materialistic world and country of ours, in this capitalistic society, that you know you're not going to probably get a return on? It's because we love the art. We love the craft. You know what I'm saying? We master the craft, the dark side of the arts. You know what I'm saying?
By
And,
design.
and it's by divine design that we're able to cultivate what we cultivate, and we just hope that it reaches who it needs to reach, and then that's just it. We're messengers, you know what I'm saying? You know, that there is hope, you know what I mean? Like when it comes down to your day-to-day reality. No grandiose fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, shit. It's just like straight up, you know, if you're going through a motherfucking shitty-ass fucking day.
Or whether it's a great day.
Or a great day, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, it could be a rich motherfucker or a poor, because I have just as much compassion for the rich and what they have to go through and suffer as well as those who are poverty stricken, because the rich suffer as well, you know what I mean? It's just that when I say we don't make music for the well-to-do, I mean, you're not gonna hear us rhyming about fucking, you know what I'm saying, all that same old.
Always keep it true to what, you know, our path has been, you know what I mean, or what it is. You know, there's never, I mean, even if there is things that we speak about, it's just, you know what I mean, that's just for descriptive, audio, visual
Narratives.
narratives, you know what I mean, and everything that we do talk about, so it's always on some rooted, what it is, what we do.
We rock well like Orson Welles type shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's just next level rhyming, next level narratives, next level subject matter. Can we spread our wings when it comes to hip hop and subject matter?
They're out there.
Are we
with
allowed to
scissors
do
trying
that?
Clip our wings. You know?
Yeah, they're trying to clip our shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? Can we rhyme travel with impunity? Do we have to have a license? What is it? We're unlicensed out here taking flight regardless, so motherfuckers is gonna have to get used to it, you know what I mean? And
Whether it's demon wings, angel wings,
angel wings
pterodactyl wings,
or a combination of 3 or 4.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Frankenstein geometry,
But we're out there, we're airborne.
patchwork,
You know, pathogens.
audio patchwork.
You know, and so like so to answer your question, I think I just did. We did.
Alright.
Vocally.
So I mean, these are gonna be like the dual questions, like the individual questions both of you guys answer. So so sorry, you Hayes. When did you start writing? And
When I started writing raps,
yeah,
oh man, it just started off like in detention when I was a youngster or something. You know what I mean? And me and the homies would be over there. We'd just be like, we'd write battle bars to each other, and we'd like pass them back and forth. And then like I didn't even, like, it was just like on some talk shit. You know what I mean? Like, and then it just came from there. And then it, you know what I mean? Just naturally, it formed into more of a freestyle thing, you know, in rhyme form, just like getting off what any kind of steam I had, you know what I mean, just to speak my mind. And then writing, it just was just the perfect way to paint what was inside my head that was causing the motherfucker that can go, like the insane thoughts, getting it out there, so you know, just being able to get that off your chest. And then it just like, you know, made me sane in the long run, you know.
Halfway.
If not, I don't know what that means. What is normal?
What is sanity?
Normal? Man, we're fucking leaning through portals.
all right, Dave. So when did you start writing?
I started seriously writing in 1989. So like, you know, I was lucky enough to grow up in the golden era of hip hop. So it was like, you know, I grew up on Bay Area mob music, early Bay Area gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? Too Short, Ill Manor Posse, Huey MC, a lot of Frisco. Cause see, I grew up in San Francisco, off of Geneva, you know, not far from Mission Street, across the street from Crocker Amazon Park, right down the street from where Geneva Towers used to be, Sunnydale Projects. And I was exposed to like, you know, Coug Nut and the Ill Manor Posse once again, all the shit that was going on in Oakland, the rappers and whatnot. Who made the biggest impression on me from an independent standpoint would have been Huey MC and Coog Nut and the Illmatic Posse. And there was this cat named Mac Mill from Oakland. There was this cat named Jack. He was from Sunnydale. He drove a Coog Nut, and he laced me and my cousin up with some tapes. And after getting those tapes and NWA being out and fucking Run DMC and the Beastie Boys and like all of this like beautiful fucking music, I decided that I was gonna roll the dice of trying to write. So me and my cousin started a group called Big Mac Productions, and they kicked me out the group for some reason. It was me, my cousin Mike, and my nigga Lewis, and they kicked me out. So I wrote a diss rap. That was just the first time I remember, like with clarity, writing it was called "I Go For Mine," and I dissed those niggas. So my first rap was was a battle rap. You feel me? And so like I came for those niggas and shit, you know what I mean? And recorded it in through my headphones on a you know, those old school, like the turntable was attached to the fucking tape deck contraptions, and that's when I first started writing raps. It was called "I Go For Mine." I remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember my first recording, it was on one of those, what was it, the Walkman, the thing in Home Alone, you know, that little recorder, you could, like do the pitch, like, all right, you know, low to high, just holding it up to the speaker and just rapping into it.
One track.
Yep, exactly.
So from once you guys had, you know, started writing, and when did you realize that, you know what I mean, that this is something that you wanted to pursue and you know and you know, be professional at it or whatnot, or you know, when did you realize that this is what you were gonna do, or you were gonna actually put more work into this, and it wasn't just something, you know what I mean, that you were doing, you know, at school and whatnot?
Basically, I don't know, it was just for pure fun, for the passion of it, and then it just, my bad, repeat the question.
Or sorry, yeah, I was kind of fucked that up. But or I guess, like, you know, like, was there a significant something that happened or whatever to where, like, you know what, I'm gonna do this shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a rap. You know what I mean? Like, straight up, like.
And it just, like, it never was like that for me. It was just like, just rhyming just to get things off my head, you know what I mean? You know, recording, it was just like, it was that rush you got when you laid something sick down, and then it was like, oh man, like, that shit is, yeah, play with
a little high off that shit.
You know, all off of, you know what I mean, posted on the porch tops, you know what I mean, just like slapping it way too loud, pissing off the neighbors, you know what I mean? You know, Del Coronado called the Concrete Jungle, you know what I mean? But, you know what I'm saying? So with that, it just naturally, you meet people, you know, networking, and then it just became all these opportunities start happening, a place to record, you know, people offer you shows, and it's just like, I never like did it to like make money off of it, or like to, you know, the internet plantation is completely destroyed like music. It's all about being independent these days, and it's like, that's how it's always been, so it's like second nature anyways. So we're just doing what we do. Me personally, you know, it's just a blessing to even get the reactions that people do get from, and be able to relate to, and when they come up, they're just like, yo, you know what I mean? That's just, you know, or like when that one day, Dave, you know, we were at that barbecue,
Yeah.
and then the homie D-Form's daughter, Lyric.
Yeah, little Lyric.
Like,
One Love Lyric.
Yeah, One Love. And, you know, she starts spitting his, what song was that from?
Superfly.
Superfly. You know what I mean? Just start the whole song, word for word. You know
And
what
it's
I mean?
like a little girl, you know what I mean? Like, so it was like, shit like that is priceless, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's the reason.
That's, yeah, straight up and down.
Just, you know.
Like for me, like the first time, like I really wanted to like pursue rhyming, like out of like for fun, to like cause to me it's like skating or basketball, but like more I would relate it to more or less like just trying to be a sick ass skater. And not necessarily get sponsored, but just know I could go to the skate park or be in a group of skaters and just be doing the super toughest shit. That's how it was with rhyming.
Evolution.
Yeah, constant evolution. And it was when I got exposed to the other side of hip hop. I was fortunate enough to come up during the indie explosion of the '90s. So I'm a child of the golden era of hip hop, and fortunate enough to grow within the parameters of in the indie scene scheme. I call it sometimes, but it wasn't a scheme. It was an independent explosion that took place with groups like well, these were made. You know, you had Dell, you had Freestyle Fellowship, you had. I'm talking. See, I'm a West Coast supremacist, but I love hip hop all over the place. You feel me? But I love what came out of the West because I think that we redefined what could be done with the art. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard like the Bomb compilation with Black Alicious and Bored Stiff on it, when I heard Saphir's album with the Hobo Junction, when I heard the Souls of Mischief album, Inner City Griots, when I heard Seventh Seal by Micah Nine, when I heard all of these things, like some of them independent, some of them corporate, it blew my mind, and I wanted to. It wasn't about like fame or success. I just wanted to rhyme to the point where they'd be aware of my existence, and I would be like amongst the top tier of like fucking rhymers and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't about like, you know what I mean, fame or anything. It was more or less about infamy. You know what I'm saying? That's what we strive for is infamy. We're like fucking bombers and shit, and like, you know, the airwaves are like fucking trains, and it's all fucking caps. You know what I mean? And like and your ear canals are the tunnels, and we're fucking out there just bombing all day, sound bombing, and so like to the sub levels, and so from and then you had what was going on in San Jose. You had the Cactus Club. You had groups like the Derelicts, the Homeless Derelicts. I went to the Cactus Club one night as a youngster, was too young to get in there, and the Derelicts were performing, and the house was fucking packed, and I'm seeing motherfuckers go crazy. I'm like, dude, I want this. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I want. Being on stage, rocking shit to where niggas are like, damn, these fools, you know, you're sapping out on the situation, and everybody knows it, and that energy, like you said, like you get an adrenaline rush off of it, you get a high. And to me, it must be the same thing for a fool who jumps off of a ramp and does a vertical fucking whatever the fuck. Or, you know what I'm saying, kick flips, fucking whatever. It must be the same fucking thing when you run through your fucking bars flawlessly and you fucking thrill kill shit. There was a lot of ciphers. I remember going to the Edge in fucking Palo Alto, or like just going to spots and just going into fucking circles of niggas that I didn't know and just sabbing out on fools, you know what I mean? I'm not like that potent nowadays. I'm older, you know what I mean? But when I was young, I was a monstrosity, man. And what really fucking sparked that off was definitely the indie explosion of the '90s, you know what I mean? And that's when I decided, you know what, I'm stepping my game up. That's when I dropped out of high school. That's when I fucking was like, fucking, I'm a rhyme, and I don't give a fuck what happens. This is just like my calling in life, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, you know, other art forms as far as music and shit started to come into play. And shit just evolved, man.
Subculture, primordial soup.
Straight up, out the ooze.
Right on. On that note, I mean, what other, you know, like what other outlets do you have besides the music to get that creativity out, or do you participate in any other?
Well, I like to participate in a lot of pussy poking. That helps me out a lot. Definitely gets a lot of frustration. It's a little fucking here and there. And then, but no, for real though, like realistically, like fucking, for me, I like collage art, visual arts. I'm definitely into visual arts, photography, shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
How about you, Hayes?
What was the question again?
What other, you know, outlets or of creativity do you participate in? Or?
You know, I mean, I love to skateboard. I love to draw. I love to paint. Just any form of expression, man. You know, because you know, it's just like you gotta keep your mind and your body physically, like just exercise it. You gotta exercise the mind, and that's the perfect way to do it. It's through, for me, skateboarding, painting, spitting. You know. Man, it just, list can go on for days.
And this fool's got bars on the skateboard. Bars.
All right. In the note of expression, you know, for this Broken Uglies project, are you guys painting two different pictures, or are you guys making a mutual collage kind of thing? How would you describe um, your picture that you guys are painting with the Broken Uglies project?
That's an interesting question.
Really, it's just a sporadic outward splatter that just
Splash.
just splash of whether it's just the struggle, the trial tribulation, the psychedelia.
Hold up, sorry, I'm gonna stop you for a second. Can you, start that over again, but just say, the picture that we're trying to paint, or what we're trying to get out there, just kind of start it off.
Well, the picture that we're trying to paint, or that we do paint, is simply, it's all sporadic off the mind of a psychonaut. Just what we're painting is something that people can just grasp onto and relate to, or they can shun it away if they want to. Sometimes we purposely try to do that just to, because we're rhyme scientists. You know what I mean? We're out here just creating these patterns, patchwork of audio, clusterfuck. You know what I mean? But it all comes down and funnels down into this thing called the Broken Uglies. And the point is, there's no point. You know what I mean? Why has there got to be a period? Let that go on for infinity. You know what I mean? Run on sentences for days.
Yeah, there's no menstrual cycle when it comes to the universe, no periods. You know what I mean? So we keep it expansive, like we're on the fringes we're on the fringes of the culture, and we're on the cusp of a painting that, yeah, both of us are splashing the canvas, and I think that it's two different interpretations for the listener. We're on the same page as far as being the artist. For the listener, it's up to them, like, I think, to decide whether or not, like, how they perceive what we know the painting portrays. You know what I mean?
There could be so many different subliminals within it, so you can take it either way.
Right. We
That's
challenge,
the
but it's challenging. Some of our music is challenging. It's not spoon-fed art. You feel me? It's not fast food music. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a more or less, you gotta sit down, take your time with your meal, digest it. You feel me? Maybe have some fucking rare ass wine with that shit, and savor it. You know what I mean? And then
Post it in the gallery with your fur coat in summertime, just
straight up, and finger banging some exotic European bitch.
Finger banging,
You know?
and just decipher the art yourself. It's up to the listener.
All right. I know we kind of touched on this already, but who's your audience, and why did they matter? Why do you need to speak to them, or
At the end of the day, I don't know if our audience has even been born yet. For those that are here now on planet Earth that enjoy what the Broken Uglies represent, or what we signify, or what we embody, whether it's Hayes One as an individual or Dave Dub as an individual, or what we're doing as the Broken Uglies, they're definitely cut from a cloth that covers the vital body parts. You know what I mean? Like, so in other words, like, people that are smart. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's smart, but some people are a little sharper than others. You know what I'm saying? And I think those are the people that gravitate towards what we do, because for one, to get into the Broken Uglies experience, you've got to be, you have to have a diversified level of taste when it comes to music. And if you don't, you're not going to dig what we do. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how we want it. Let the closed-minded weed themselves out. And that don't bother me none. Don't bother them.
No fucks given.
No fucks. Aerial fuck, grounded fuck.
None. Not a fuck. And no free fucks either, you feel me? Shit.
So what do you expect out of? Do you have any expectations for this Broken Uglies project?
I think I have a lot of, for me, speaking personally, I have a lot of expectations out of it as far as it being a record that people can reflect on and say, wow, these guys really did push the envelope of fucking what can be done with hip hop. Just like a lot of the people that I idolize, whether it's from the hip hop genre or from punk rock or from bebop. I mean, I'm a big fan of Charlie Parker. I'm a big fan of Miles Davis and Mingus and all of those dudes and Ornette Coleman. I'm a big fan of Bad Brains, the Dead Kennedys, the Misfits, and all of these dudes. I'm the New York Dolls, fucking Johnny Thunder. I could go on and 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 on, right? And what all of these groups did is maybe not throughout their whole careers, but they always have that one defining album where it's just like, God damn, these motherfuckers did that shit. And so that's that's my expectation. It's not financial gain. It's not fucking anything. It's like I said, it's infamy. You know what I mean? Like some Ramel Z type shit. Like fucking, these cats did some fucking shit that's gonna surpass, that would withstand the test of time. And that's what my expectations are, making a body of work that surpasses some people's lifespans. You know what I'm saying?
Hayes.
Timeless music. Just what it boils down to, you know what I mean? A cult classic memorabilia that people can just hold and just download to their memory banks, and it just won't leave because it's that standoutish. You know what I mean? It's not, there's really no, when it goes down to the actual process of creating it, it's just like, we're just doing it let's just make a track, man. Oh, you know what, man? Let's just, and it comes out to what it is. And that, as a product, it's not for no financial gain. It's the productivity that people can gain from it, and hopefully, whatever they want to do with it. Give it out, spread a message. Whether it's not even a message. What if it's just to spread the concept of this particular scenario?
A free thought.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Freedom
I think Broken Uglies represents freedom because we do what the fuck we want to do on a microphone.
Freedom ain't free, man.
Yeah, it ain't.
These days.
That's real. So, you know what I'm saying? We're passing out free freedom. Yeah. That's rare. That's rare as a motherfucker. Real shit.
Tell me about the Broken Uglies. Still looking to their camera.
The Broken Uglies is a rap group out of San Jose, California, that has been brought together to push the boundaries of hip hop as we know it, and to bring something progressive to the table, to the marketplace. Not for the superficiality of capitalistic gain, but more or less for the
dark art, black market. Whether it's the racketeers, this is a conventional
convention of unconventionalism.
Okay, so
Like corporate, indie, like if we could pick anything.
yeah,
That's a tough one. There's so many good labels out there, including our own, but I'd say a great fit for what we're doing would probably be Stones Throw Records. And there's a reason for me saying that. Off top, I have a history with Stones Throw Records. Peanut Butter Wolf put me on at a really early age, at 18 years old, with the Step on Our Egos record, which was actually the first pre-Stones Throw record, and it was the post album after the demise of the almighty Charisma, rest in power, my nigga, whom I didn't know, I didn't have the pleasure of knowing, but was fully aware of. And so I've been a contributor to the Stones Throw universe in a number of different ways, whether it be My Vinyl Weighs a Ton, whether it be, Jeff Barrow from Portishead, the album that he put out called The Quakers, whether it be collaborating with Baron Zinn, or the album that I put out called The Treatment. Stones Throw, I've had a special, unique relationship with Stones Throw Records throughout the years, as well as with Peanut Butter Wolf, Salutations. And I think that what we represent and would be a really good fit within that platform. You feel me? It's definitely something we'll probably shop to him, you know, see what he thinks about it. You know, he could be very selective, but, you know, he might dig it, he might not. You know, we'll see.
What's your take on that, Hayes?
Yeah, I'd agree, man. I would think Stone's Throw is a nice fit for what we're doing. You know, again with me, like the original reason why we're even doing this project is not, it wasn't for to get it on a label or do what, but you know what it's developed into. It's definitely something that needs to be out there to a mass crowd, and I think Stone's Throws would be a nice way to project it through, you know what I mean, through how they go about things, you know, Peanut Butter Wolf, and Dave's, you know, connection from way back, you know what I mean. You know, I grew up like, not grew up, but like what I said, when I first started getting into hip hop tough, you know, like Dave Dub and Persevere on the sub-contents.
Peace to Persevere. Jesse Medina, what is it?
You know what I mean? So it's actually, you know, it's a honor for me to even be working with Dave Dub to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, and then we developed our camaraderie and our, you know,
Talking tough.
That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so basically, yeah. So Stone's Throw would be nice. You know what I mean? So.
And if that doesn't pan out, we have Isolated Wax. We have, you know, whether we put it out for free. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different, as we all know, the record business has changed in 2015. It's nowhere near what it was. And it's almost like a new frontier, you know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like, you know, you could kind of claim your stake in any way you can imagine. So.
Why why would Stone's Throw be a good fit?
Because of the diversity of the
Oh,
label.
kind of rephrase the question in your answer a little bit. Like,
Okay.
Stone's Throw would be a good fit.
Well, I think Stone Soul would be a good fit because their platform is so diversified. There's a plethora of different artistic movement within that label, whether it's a group like the Step Kids, whether it's, you know, MF Doom, whether it's all the shit, beautiful music that Dilla made, whether it's the shit that, you know, the Homeless Derelicts did or Encore did back in the day, you know, the first couple of singles, and, you know, Wolf has like an ear for the unorthodox, but shit that can be like packaged up. I mean, just him combining Dame Funk with Snoop Dogg and them doing that collaborative effort, I mean, that was really impressive to me, and I really dug that album. So it's just kind of like, I mean, look, if you look at the if you look at from A to B, how that label has evolved, I just see that like what we have is, it kind of embodies that Stone's Throw aesthetic as far as the diversity and you know, complexity, you know, of what that label entails. So.
Are you taking any kind of different approach to this project as far as getting it out to the masses? Are you approaching it differently, or, you know, does this, yeah, I mean, what kind of approach, like, are you guys,
I'd say the approach that we're taking to promote this and to market it is guerrilla warfare. You know what I mean? We're just out here. I mean, like we print. Me personally, I printed out flyers and just go out there and, like, you know, wheat paste them, slap them over, get the wheat paste, spray paint. You know, spray the surface, boom, boom, climbing up. You know, kind of on some graph level tip. You know what I mean? Going out there and just putting it out in the streets where people are. You know what I mean? Not just like, you know, on some internet based. Like, oh, like, nah, dude, you know what I mean? You gotta get out there, you know what I mean? The internet has, like, destroyed, like, the root of what this is all about, you know, and, like, it comes down to the promotion. You know, we like to infuse all outlets and how to do it, you know what I mean?
And stuff like this, you know, interviews, videos. We have a film in mind. We're actually gonna do a film. It's yet to be titled. It might be called Yet to Be Titled. Shit, that goes. And it'll be a compilement of a couple of different, you know, what people would perceive as being videos, but it's actually a mini film. And there's not a lot of cats doing that. And, you know, things like this, taking the time to sit down and get intimate with the listeners and the potential listeners I don't think a lot of people are taking the time to do that because, like I said, we live in a fast food society, and we're not dishing out McDoubles and fucking Big Macs. I mean, it's like, organically grown fucking.
We're snatching
You know what I'm
McDonald's out of
saying?
your mouths while you're sitting on the couch.
Right.
Turned into a tater tot. You know what I mean? Like, we're over here, trying to uplift. You know what I mean? It's not
But there
about
might be
breaking,
metallic tidbits in your meat, but we don't know. We can't. That's inexplainable. I don't know where the metallics come from. Sorry.
All right. So any thank yous or shout outs you want to give to contributions in this project and how it's all coming together and whatnot?
There's been a lot of contributors to the Broken Uglies album. It's definitely beyond just me and Hayes.
in every aspect of the word.
Yeah, in every aspect of the word. If you want to hit a couple of cats to, goddamn
Like for production wise, there's the Architect, Fanatic,
Architect, Fanatic,
Lanikin,
Lanikin.
Mr. X, Self Destruct, Morbid Slump, Los Cop Smoke, Barry Bones, Tape Master Steph, and on other aspects of contributors, like people just putting up with our noise.
Yeah,
You know,
neighbors.
Like there's like a whole story that can go on forever of how this album developed into what it is, man. Like we just, we recorded most of it in a haunted house. You know what I mean?
Literally, we wanted to
Downtown
encapsulate
Scottsdale.
the spiritual phenomenon known as, I don't even know what if it's I can't even, it's inexplicable. There's a veil there. I can't even physically explain it because it's not to be explained, I guess. But where we recorded, there was definitely there were elements that are beyond our comprehension, I'd say.
And people that were there to witness it from like the third person perspective, man, I can only imagine, man.
Yeah, it wasn't a state of the art studio. It was definitely in the grime time, Crystal City. But and then we had Jesse Medina on the album. We had Matt Gaiman on the album. We have who else rhyme wise been on that shit? Zanny Barcelona.
Doja Lounge.
Doja Lounge, a real big contributor to what we did.
Black Tongue Society.
Black Tongue Society. And then,
Jesse Medina.
yeah, once again. And, so everybody that was, down, who supported it, took the time to listen and contribute, one love to y'all, you know what I'm saying? And everybody who's given us positive feedback so far. Another contributor who helped us out visually would be, we got Meg Abusive on the album. A gentleman by the name of Lamar Cox. And this dude has just been invaluable as far as, a lot of the visual contributions and things of that nature. But yeah, we've got a lot of heavy hitters that were involved with this project. It's definitely beyond just Dave Dub and Hayes One.
Definitely beyond it. In respect to everyone, thank you.
For as far as San Jose, do you have any expectations for this project as far as, San Jose? Like, do you have any, expectations of like, putting San Jose on the map kind of thing, or like, it's just
Put our brains on the map.
Exactly. Splatter brains, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, San Jose is like what it is. The 408, the 408, San Hopeless, San Hope, San Ho, the Zay, whatever they want to call it, City of Sharks that seek prey on dry land, the deserted valley,
Praying to
desolate.
the sacred birds of prey.
The thing is that it's a beautiful place and there's a lot of artistic energy in San Jose. However, it's kind of like a crab in the bucket phenomenon where you got different factions and whatnot. That's just the nature of the beast. So, in my opinion, it's like, you know what I mean, like I said, infamy is the goal. And I want to be infamous every motherfucking where, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's beyond San Jose, you know what I mean? We're not on no regional San Jose shit.
Much love to
Like,
San
yeah,
Jose.
yeah, straight up and
That's where
down,
we're
you know what I'm
from.
saying? That's the motherfucking turf, you know what I'm saying? The Bay Area is the turf. Earth is the
Yeah.
turf. But like, you know, now it's time to think bigger and broader, you know, looking at a
Catapult
bigger
across the
picture.
planet.
Yeah, across the fucking planet. You know what I'm saying? I want 3-titty extraterrestrial bitches with
Green
pussies
skin.
that have teeth slapping this shit in Galaxy X. That's where I'm at with it.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, let's cut.
The Broken Uglies are a rap group consisting of Dave Dub and Hayes One. We rock microphones really swell, and we try to push the boundaries of what can and should be done with the genre of hip hop music.
Broken Uglies is myself, Hayes One, and Dave Dub, and we're here to bring the onslaught of word massacres to your earlobes.
We decided to group up and posse up on this Broken Ugly shit when both of us were kind of like going through some broken and ugly shit. So it just made sense to combine forces and to form a collective effort musically because it seemed like we were a part of a collective consciousness at that time.
Exactly. Broken Uglies and why we started this as a collective together is simply just to portray exactly who we are and how decrepit it was on the inside and how how we could depict the epic downfall and the epic rebirth or dust your shoulder off mechanism within all of us.
Get Back's tremendous.
What was there an epiphanal kind of moment where you guys had met or whatnot to where you got yo, we got to do this, we got to put something together, like.
Most definitely, I'd say when we combined forces on a song called Bones Brigade, which is featured on the album, we knew at that point that we needed to do a full-length LP.
Yep. And
Produced by Trust One. What's up, Trust?
yep. Yeah, so like once we did that song, Bones Brigade, produced by Trust One, it just made sense. You know what I mean? It was just the way the contrast of our styles and how it meshed and how we were able to just speak our minds in a certain matter that they just measured up on the same wavelength, whether it was still off the meters, but still it just made sense.
Would you say, can you describe your style?
Describing my style would be closest to a Rorschach painting if it was wildly outspoken.
Dave?
My style would probably be closer to Miles Davis's Trumpet on Acid.
Word.
So,
All right, and what are your goals for this project? What do you plan on get out of this project?
I plan on getting a certain level of infamy off of it and notoriety as far as people being aware that we're able to bring forth subject matter that's diverse and a certain level of thought that not many people indulge themselves in. We represent freedom in this realm of hip hop, so I anticipate a lot of souls being liberated off of what we spit and splash and cough up. You know, that phlegm is gonna, it's freedom phlegm. We're spitting freedom phlegm.
Hayes?
exactly. What I look to get out of this project in particular is just to get the reactions out of the ears that retain it, or even the people that don't, and just get the reactions from it and applicate that to furthermore rhyme travel, and as well as build new connections. You know, never the money, man. You know, what I mean, if it's dealt right on, we distribute it back to everyone who contributed to make this happen, and just constantly spreading the virus of good hip hop and good music and free thought.
Like one thing, what I took away from cultivating this project, that I'd like to convey to the listener, to especially young MCs or aspiring musicians in general, if you're seeing this, is that you don't necessarily need mind-altering substances to create good music. Because you could go either way, and God knows, within the realm of the broken uglies, it could go either way. But to know that you have a choice, you know what I mean, and you don't need to necessarily alter your mind to alter your mind. That's what that's what I personally
Or
want
to alter
think.
other people's minds with our alternating alterer. At the altar, we never falter.
You know, you know.
What about you, Hayes? Is there something that you're gonna walk away with from this project, this process?
Yeah, definitely every day is a learning experience. There's no walking away from nothing. And I never turned my back to anything. Anything I grew eyes on the back of my head. You know what I mean? I got my shadows back. You know what I mean? I got my brothers back. You know, every day learn something new through every scenario, things that you speak, conversations you have with your comrades, your families. You know, so when people give that feedback off of our music, that's a learning experience in itself too. Perspective.
So, do you have a preference for a particular microphone?
That's a good question.
Me personally, I like just, you know, the fact that you can use your voice as a projector. Use your, hey, how's it going over there? I don't care, man. Like, you know.
I like Audio Technicas because I have one. You know what I'm saying? Shirts, blueberries, whatever the fuck.
Birds.
You know what I mean?
There's a bluebird on my shoulder. Can I kill it?
Yeah, no.
What is your you want to touch on your writing process at all?
You want to hit that? I love writing. If I didn't rhyme, I'd still write. Maybe I'd like, you know, try to attempt to get some published work through like a novel type form or something like that. I enjoy literature. I'm an avid reader. You feel me? And I just enjoy the written word. So I write rhymes real fast. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like thoughts just come to me, and as fast as they come to me, I'm able to fucking sketch them out on paper. You know what I mean? And I just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I always have, I always will. So the writing process basically is you hear the beat, the beat dictates the what's usually going to be composed in written form, unless there's just a generalized concept beforehand, and then you know we kind of like we'll find a beat that tailors and conforms to that. You know what I mean? Lightweight.
Hayes?
My approach to writing is just simply not to overthink it. You know what I mean? Just sometimes, I mean, you can't help but overthink things. I mean, if you're sitting there trying to hit a certain pattern or aesthetic to how you're trying to go about it, but most of the time it's just like, you know, freestyling. I just try to like freestyle, and just how Dave said, just as quick as you think it could be gone in an instant. So it's like just write it out, and then like sometimes it'll be like just a clusterfuck collage of just madness on a paper, bunch of scribbles here, scribbles there, and then you just, you know, most of the time I'll have to go back, and then like I'll take chunks out of this, or like I'll rewrite it, boom, and then just make it make sense, or whatever the case may be.
Is there anything that you guys learn from one another or about one another through this process?
Yeah, I learned a lot from Hayes as far as I was like, I think at a point in my rhyming career, I was kind of like stagnated, you know. I had done a record on Mike Anon's label called Mind Police. It was like a punk rock hybrid album. And I had done the Stone Star record, The Treatment. And I was just going through a lot of personal shit that had me in a position of non-productivity. And so when I hooked up with Hayes, like his energy just kind of rejuvenated me, you feel me? And then his rhyme, his multi-syllable, like I have a comrade named Zessa Smoker, piece of Zessa Smoker, and the way that he writes has always inspired me, and I got that same vibe from Hayes. So, like, really Hayes kind of got me out of my writer's slump, you feel me, and had me applying myself a little bit more. I stepped my game up. Like rhyming with younger cats is a good thing because it enables you to, one, get a breath of fresh air as far as where styles are progressing to, and then two, to get out of your comfort zone. And you have to, you know what I mean? You know, you want to be able to keep up with what these youngsters are doing, and they're doing amazing ass shit nowadays. It's like a graph writer, you might have been doing bubble letters, and now these kids are doing three-dimensional fucking wild style like shit. So that's what I learned from Hayes. You know what I mean? You know, step my bars up a little bit. You feel me?
What I learned from Dave Dove is a whole lot, man. I look up to him like an OG. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of really respectful perspective. You know what I mean? Style-wise, on just music, just the open-mindedness of all kinds of music. Just the fact that, you know, don't take the shit too serious. Just fucking be with it. Like, do it for yourself. You know what I mean? And straight up, you know what I mean? And style-wise, it's just like, you know what I mean? Just look up to that shit a lot. You know what I'm saying?
What's your favorite drink?
Me, it's aloe vera water.
State the question in the.
My favorite drink is aloe vera water. I love that shit. Drink it all day.
And my favorite drinks, Hennessy and apple juice. All day.
All right. Biggest inspiration.
My biggest inspiration would have to be Bird, Charlie Parker.
My biggest inspiration is everybody's hardships, everybody's epic comebacks, everybody's my inspiration, man. You know what I mean? Just like people who've come, people who've passed. Musically, you can go from all kinds of genres, Brenton Wood on the oldies tip to, you know what I mean, the Misfits, punk rock tip, Charisma, you know, subcontext on,
Power.
you know what I mean, on the hip hop tip. You know, you can go on and on forever what inspirations are, but
So first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning?
Pussy. The first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning is pussy.
First thing I wake up to in the morning and think about would have to be that slip and slidey vagina. Myself to roll over, morning wood. Good thing, you know.
Alright. Is there anyone that you would like to smack the shit out of?
I'd like to smack the shit out of every racist bastard that walks planet Earth, regardless of what your ethnicity is, because they come in all shapes, sizes, and ethnic backgrounds. I hate racism.
Slapping the ignorant, you know, slap Justin Bieber. I don't know, that'd just be funny.
Wouldn't even be right.
Yeah, but it'd be funny though.
Top ramen or cup of noodle?
Top ramen all day.
I prefer top ramen over cup of noodle. Hot water make big noodle.
How about people you want to work with?
Wow, people I'd like to work with. A lot of people that I'd like to work with, I've worked with. Micah Nine, Jeff Barrow from Portishead, Fools Like Hayes One. My partners in crime like Meg Abusive and Zessa Smoker. I'd love to do something with MF Doom. I love his work.
I'd love to do something. I'd love to work with Jello Biafra.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
If you could be anywhere right now, where would you want to be?
If I could be anywhere on the planet Earth right now, I'd be in Brazil. Yeah.
If I could be anywhere on this planet, I'd be on. It's kind of hard. If I could be anywhere on this planet, I'd be in Spain, cold chilling on the beach, sipping out of a coconut. I'd be out in Spain, sitting on a beach, sipping on a coconut.
All right, Hayes, did you want to talk about skating or other?
Like how I hit that.
Have you ever skated?
Yeah, I like skateboarding. I've been skateboarding since I was a youngster. I remember when I first started skateboarding, I was like 5 years old. I was just like walking down the sidewalk in my neighborhood or something, or just like ran off. You know what I mean? My mom was like yelling for me, like get over there! I came running back. I seen this reflection in the bush. It was a holographic Steve Caballero fishtail. You know what I mean? The dragon on the bottom and everything with the rails. You know what I mean? I found out, I was like, yes! And then, you know what I mean, just started from there. And then kind of skateboarding progressed to be like my first expression before this hip-hop shit, before anything. It was just a way I can get out my aggression and just huck my carcass down flights of steps. You know what I mean? And just, you know, just a whole lot of flesh and bone and concrete. You know what I mean? And like, you know, it developed into like a progression thing. That rush, the same rush that I get out of hip hop music, was early stages expressed through that. And then, you know, I got sponsors like when I was younger and stuff like that. I was doing competitions and shit. And ended up hurting myself, broke both my ankles. You know what I mean? Both had nothing to do with skateboarding, is the irony. You know, one I was up on a billboard, hitting up something in the middle of the night, you know, all drunk. And instead of climbing down from the billboard, jumped off that motherfucker, laid there for like, I was like by myself. But a good thing I was all lit, man, because I was able to like hop my way like 10 blocks. But yeah, so that kind of ended my skateboard career, like for that. And out of that came me focusing more on my music, you know what I mean? But I mean, I still get down though, I still rip, I still shred, Hesh life.
Who are you? Who are you guys as a collective, and why are you here?
Me, I'm a seeker of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Why I'm here is to rep this broken, ugly movement and to ensure that people feel safe to think and they can be free from the mind police. And yeah.
Ask me the same question real quick.
Who are you guys, and why are you here?
I'm Hayes One, that's Dave Dub, together we're Broken Uglies, and we're here to carve and leave our legacy on the insides of your eyelids.
Kill the idols and destroy the lovers.
You know.
Can you guys think of anything else, or?
Piece of San Jose, California, straight out the motherfucking Zay. South side of the motherfucking Zay. North side of the motherfucking Zay. West side of the motherfucking Zay. East side of the motherfucking Zay. Piece of the rest of the Bay Area, you feel me? Frisco to Richmond to the O to EPA.
Peace to all our folks.
You know, one love to everybody out there. Keep it 700.
The ride or dies. And everyone else out there that listens to what we got to say, what we bring to the table, and appreciates real art.
Straight up.
What do people have to look forward to in this for this project?
A mind-blowing experience, and from front to back when it comes to the album.
Started off, people should expect
People should expect from the Broken Uglies. People should expect from the Broken Uglies an experience. It's just not, it's beyond just background music or just like a top 40 type of experience where there's maybe one or two songs on it. It's like we're the album is in the vein of like Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. I mean, just one of those things. It's a long player, it's an LP, and you'll definitely get that vibe from it when you listen to it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to play it all the way through. You know what I mean? And the visual presentations that's gonna accompany it. You're gonna be in for a trip. You feel me? Like don't drink too much orange juice.
It'll take you on a crazy, wild thrill ride, ups and downs and twirls, and twister, turnarounds and inside outs.
Angelic, but it might turn into demonic Disneyland.
all right. I mean, I think
That's
we're
it.
good.
Good shit.
Isolated wax.
Isolated
No Face,
wax.
Cold.
Oh yeah, let's real quick on isolated wax shit. Real quick.
Yeah.
And so, as far as the isolated wax issue, it's a label that we established back in the '90s. We've got a lot of great artists that are on the roster, whether it be Deform, Zanny Barcelona, Bismo, Big Business. We've got a lot of associates, people that are down with it. It's more or less a brand versus a rap label. You know what I mean? Mega Abusive is a phenomenal rhymer as well as a administrator, I should say. And Hayes One. I mean, we all rep Isolated Wax to the motherfucking fullest until the wheels fall off.
You want to get on that, Hayes?
Yeah, Isolated Wax. It's like home base. You know what I mean? That's like that's where we, as a collective, all of us, like as comrades in this art, you know what I mean, and this art form in which we pursue, you know what I mean, and it'll always boil down to the Isolated Wax movement, you know what I mean, because it's just like, it just represents us independently, but all of us coming together to push one another, because that's what a lot of this is losing these days and what people are losing sight of. And it's just about helping one another, you know what I'm saying? Isolated Wax all day.
All day.
Deform, Mega Abusive, Dave Dub, Hayes One, Drowsy the Ravenous. It can go on forever.
Yeah, it's
I'm-
Barcelona, Barry Bones,
look-
Mr. X.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Goes
you know what
on
I'm
forever
saying?
and ever, you know what I'm saying?
We're out here.
Don't want to forget no names.
Yeah.
You
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, oh
I
yeah.
don't even do that
You
right
know?
now.
Yeah, so that's that.
All right. What do people have to look forward to from Isolated Wax?
What people have to look forward from Isolated Wax is a series of releases, the Deform EP, another Hayes One album, a Dave Dub album, a Mega Abusive album, the Fucking Mutants album, the Zanny Barcelona EP, a lot of different video projects, and the Razor Breakers cassette, you know what I mean? That's me and Deform's collective. More Broken Ugly shit. It goes on and on and on and on. You know what I mean? So the Dead Beats, the Throwaway Pistols, there's a lot of different things that are about to be dropping between 2015 and 2016 on Isolated Wax. So we're active, for sure. We're for surely active out here.
Proactive.
Yeah. Hyperactive.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.